Well, hello, my friend. I'm glad you found my video because based off of the title and the thumbnail, you understand what's happening in Western societies. All across Europe, America, Canada, there are systems being set up to take and strip a man's financial independence, his financial wealth each and every day. In fact, we have politicians openly and blatantly stating and creating policies to take away your wealth. And if you do not do these things to protect it, you will go through living hell. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over the different things that men must avoid if they want to protect their hard-earned wealth that they've been building their entire life, especially if they're living in the Western society. So we're gonna get into the video, but before we do, make sure you guys like this video. And if you enjoy this video and you like the value I give you, make sure you guys subscribe. So without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, we need to address two things. First thing, who the hell am I? Well, my name is PTK, aka Pawn to a King, and on this channel, I help men who have the mindset of a pawn, which is what? A guy who's a wanderer, a guy with no direction, no mission, no vision for his life, and worst of all, he's being misused, mistreated, abused, and exploited for the gain of other people around him into the mindset of a king. And how I do that is I give him knowledge, skills, resources, tools, and most importantly, a mindset to transform how he views life. So that way he starts to move on his own, have his own vision, have his own purpose, have direction in life, and most importantly, be able to build a lifestyle based off of freedom and happiness and teach other people around him to do so if he so chooses. And this video is no different. The video that I'm about to give you guys is very important because when you're a man and you start to really analyze and look at the trajectory of our society, especially in America, because that's where I live at. If you live in Europe or Canada, you can probably relate. In Western society, when you look at governmental policies, societal structure, if you're a man and you've been busting your ass your entire life, you've been making the right decisions, you've been making good financial moves, you've been putting that work in, and you've accumulated wealth, there are so many roadblocks that are trying to strip and take it from you. And a man with discernment, a man with prudence, what does the Bible say? He foreseeth the evil and he hides himself. And that's why I want to give you guys these tips, because there are literally millions and millions of men who make their life 10 times more difficult because nobody ever told them the truth and the reality of these things that are taking their wealth. So I'm going to tell you guys what you should do in order to protect it. The first thing that a man needs to do to protect his wealth, he needs to lose the simp mindset. In this society, especially in America, we have a lot of programming that's going on, telling men that they need to be tricks, telling men that women deserve it all and you need to give it to them. We have so many guys who feel like in order for them to get that
sweet walls, the sweet juices in between those walls,
they gotta go out of their way, break their back, take all this money out the bank and give it to this woman and treat her like a princess, treat her like a queen, so that way she can see you and respect you and love you. Look, brother, if you are a man and you have money, that's not gonna get a woman to love you. It's your mindset, it's your knowledge, it's your swagger, it's your confidence, it's your aura, it's your life experience. It's all these things encapsulated into who you are as a man. And if you have money, that just exacerbates it. That either makes it stronger, or if you're a weak man, if you're a pushover, if you're exploiting people, if you're just a piece of shit, the money is just gonna exacerbate it even more. So it doesn't have to do necessarily with the money, it has to do with you. So essentially, whether you give a woman money or not, that's not gonna make her love you or want to be with you more. Now, she might like it, she might enjoy it, but that's just a certain aspect and a certain part of it. So essentially, you need to stop being a simp and worshiping and trying to please a woman, especially with your money, because you're gonna lose so much time, so much energy, and most importantly, so much resources giving it to a woman who doesn't want to reciprocate it. And look, if you got money out your ass and you got piles of money coming out your ass each and every day, and you just want to give women money for free, congratulations, bro. Good for you, but you're on the wrong channel, because I don't teach that and I don't want men to have that type of mindset. I'm a guy where I reciprocate to people who reciprocate to me. If you respect me, if you see me as somebody who's valuable, I'll go out of my way to help you. If a woman is doing everything to help me in my vision, of course I will give her money. If she's my wife, if she's somebody I really care about, of course I'm gonna do that. But if she didn't deserve it, if she didn't do anything to help me in my life, and if she's trying to expect things from me just because I'm a man and she's a woman, she is on crack, period. Lose that simp mindset and it'll help you protect your wealth. The second thing, you should move to an area with more favorable laws for men, because when you live in the Western society, and I'm learning new things about this society and the governmental structure each and every day. There are so many different laws that take men's wealth, especially if you're a guy who has a lot of money. If you're a dude who's making an average salary, or you're under a woman's titty and you're living with her and she's married and she controls the relationship, if you're going through these laws, it will benefit you. But typically, how many women really settle down with a man who makes less money, unless you just can't find anybody? But if you're a dude trying to become a PTK soldier, you're trying to become financially independent, like I said in my last video, you're striving for greatness, you want to start your own company. More often than not, if you're a strong man, you want a woman to follow your lead and submit, especially if you guys have a family structure and she's a housewife and she's not making a huge amount of money. The laws in America, I don't know how it is in Europe and Canada, but it's probably very similar. But the laws in America are designed to strip that money away from you if you and her are not together anymore. So it's very important for you to go to a land, if possible, that has more favorable laws for men, that you don't have to pay alimony for a woman who cheated on you and slept with your best friend, that you don't have to have cohabitation laws just because you want to live and be close to a woman, but you don't want to get married. When it comes to different things like that, you can go to different tax havens where you're not paying 30, 40, 50% in taxes. You can go to Dubai, you can go to Singapore, you can go to different areas if you do the research and if you look into these different countries. But you know, if you want to be able to do these things, you got to allow your nuts to drop, you got to grab your cojones, and you got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. Because if you love staying in America and you're complaining about all the things that I'm about to tell you in this video, you are a walking contradiction and you are not going to find happiness. You're going to be a guy saying, man, life isn't fair. But then when I say, all right, brother, go to Colombia. All right, brother, go to UAE. All right, brother, go to Thailand. You're like, oh, I don't know, bro. I'm just so comfortable in America. Well, you can't have your freaking cake and eat it too. You got to pick one. Either you go somewhere where you can have more freedom as a man and you can be quiet, or you can stay in America or Europe or Canada where you're comfortable and you can keep dealing with the bullshit here, period. So if you're a guy, you want to protect the wealth that you've built in your life, I highly suggest that you move to an area with more favorable laws for men. Now, the third thing, and honestly, you guys are going to notice a theme that typically takes most of your wealth as a man. If you plan to get married, if you have a woman that you truly care about and she wants you to get married to her, if you plan to sign that contract, you need to have the most insurable prenup. And for those of you guys who want more information on this, I have a mentor and he's the one who taught a lot of these concepts to me. I learned them from other people as well, but mainly a guy I learned from named Caleb Jones. He really put into perspective how bad these marriage laws are in America. You can have a woman sign a prenup and she willingly signs it, but 10, 15, 20 years down the line, she can say that she signed it in financial or emotional distress and the judge will rip it up. So you need to make sure if you plan to sign on that dotted line, you need to make sure that you have the most enforceable prenup known to man. They need to have incredible hope strength to rip off that prenup. It's so damn solid. So if you guys plan to get married, make sure you have an enforceable prenup on your side and on her side. So that way she can't lie to the judge 10, 15 years down the line if you guys split apart. And I know a lot of you guys are like, well, man, I love my wife and shouldn't you love your wife? Yeah, of course. If I find a woman and she becomes my wife, of course I'm going to look out for her. Of course I'm going to provide for her. But this is what I want you guys to understand. You got to think about it like a smart business owner. If you are a business owner and you had a partner and you've been putting in capital, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and it got to the point where the capital was giving you a profit and you're making, I don't know, $80,000 to $100,000 net profit after expenses. And hypothetically, that partner doesn't want to put any more work into the company. He doesn't want to run the marketing. He doesn't want to do the sales calls. He doesn't want to do the back end operational things. He doesn't want to go out and network and run the day-to-day operations, and he puts it all on you. Do you think your partner still deserves 50%?
Of course not.
So if you're dealing and trying to build a family with a woman and hypothetically she doesn't want to be with you anymore, but you signed a marriage contract and now she can get the house that you guys got together, the car, and you have to pay her alimony, but she's not giving you any value and benefit anymore in the relationship, is that a good deal or is that a shitty deal? So why in the world would you sign a marital agreement and not have a prenup to protect you from that? Any wise man would do that. But if you think about this emotionally, or if you're programmed by society to just do what society tells you to do and get married because of love, then that's on you. But don't come crying to me, especially if you watch this video and you watch other people warn you about the dangers of doing something like that. So the third thing that you want to do, if you want to protect your financial wealth as a man, make sure you sign a prenup made of steel that can be enforceable in the event that they call emotional distress. Now, the fourth thing as a man that you need to do if you want to protect your financial wealth, be aware of cohabitation laws. And these are essentially for the guys like me, where you say, I am never getting legally married.
I don't give a damn if a woman put a gun to my head, she can shoot me first before I get married.
But you still want to move in with her in a state where they have cohabitation marital laws. So essentially, this is a law where if you say that you and your woman are husband and wife, even though you didn't sign a contract, you live together, and people observe you as husband and wife, according to the state, you are a joint asset at this point. You see how crazy that is? You see how literally insane it is that just because you want to live with a woman you care about and she's like your rib, she's like, your other half, the state will legally see you as a married couple even if you never signed a contract. You gotta be extremely careful. When you're a dude and you start to wake up to this society, you see how one-sided this stuff is, man. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, a lot of these governmental systems, they get tax revenue when you're joined as one asset. They're not doing it because they want the family structure to be one. I mean, think about it. This is the same government that promoted feminism. This is the same government that promoted the destruction of the family structure, the nuclear home. What do they call it? The nuclear family dynamic, right? So why is it that they wanted to destroy the families, but at the same time, they want you to be joined with a woman as a financial asset? Because they know if you guys divorce, they're gonna get taxes. And not only that, but now you have two separate households that they can tax for different income, whether it be through alimony and things like that. Typically, women spend more money and feed the economy than a man. They can see financially that they're gonna make more money long term. And not only that, but if you are married and then they divorce and split the assets, all the different lawyer fees and taxes, that's how the government makes money off of you. So you need to be aware of stuff like this. And that's not even talking about the fees and the charges that you're gonna pay to even get married. They make money off of the marriage certificate and the ceremony and things like that. So you guys need to be extremely careful and aware of the cohabitation laws wherever you may live. If you're in a state and you're dealing with a cohabitation law, you need to be very careful. The fifth thing that a Western man must do to protect his financial wealth is to avoid debt. I have so many different videos on my channel that I've made in the past. This is very straightforward. You want to avoid debt in order to make money. Now, there's good debt and there's bad debt. A house mortgage, that's good debt. Debt for a business loan that you know is going to give you a high ROI, that's good debt. Getting a liability like a luxury car that you can't afford, bad debt. Loaning money to somebody who can't pay it back, bad debt, etc., etc., etc. So you want to avoid debt and make sure you're the one lending money, not the one asking and borrowing for money. Very straightforward and simple concept. Last thing that I have on my list is you want to invest so you can fight the decreased value of the dollar. I see so many different videos on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Now everybody is sounding the alarm that the US dollar is decreasing in value. So are you just gonna sit back and allow your value to decrease and just keep it in a bank where you get 0.01% interest annually? Or are you gonna try your best to invest in different portfolios so that way you can retain the value of the dollar to the best of your ability? A wise man is going to do that. So if you guys can invest in high ETF accounts, if you guys can diversify your portfolio and hedge it with gold or silver, or you guys can go into different stocks like the S&P 500, whatever you feel is going to allow you to diversify your money to protect it from inflation, to hedge it against inflation, you really need to do that. It's extremely important. And most of you guys who actually have financial wealth, you probably already know this. But for those of you younger guys who are just going out there and trying to make money and get your money up and all that, you need to start looking into this because this is extremely important. If you start to learn these things too late, you're already 10 steps behind. So that's gonna be it on this video. Very quick, very straightforward. Again, brothers, I'm not telling you guys if you want to get married and you love the woman and you just don't give a damn what I say, hey, that's on you. You live your life, you make your bed, you lie in it. But down the line, if you made these decisions and you go through hell because of it, and you go through pain and stress and hardship because you didn't set yourself up, then hey, that's on you. I can only give you the warning. I can only be the messenger. And I'll tell you guys this. It's easy to know these things, it's easy to see these things and watch these videos, but it's a whole nother ball game to be able to apply it, because you might get into a situation where the woman you're with might pressure you, the family around you might pressure you. You gotta stand tall. A man with strength, he never rushes into decisions that will affect him long term. He always sits back, he takes his time, and if you are a man with a king's mindset, you're going to make sure that you're making a decision that's going to protect you. Helping other people as well. Obviously, you want to serve other people, be a servant to other people, but you also want to protect yourself as well, because you don't want to have everybody else live a great lifestyle at the expense of you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and also comment down below some other things that men, especially in a Western society, can do to protect their financial wealth. And last thing, make sure you guys subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I'll catch you on the next video, man. Peace.